told you.
Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, wake up.
Yes, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? You thought I was gonna get an intro just yet? Nah, not yet. Not yet. We gotta do some talking. You know what I'm saying? We know it's been what two or 3 weeks now. So we was like, you know what? Hey, it's time to get back. You know, to the grind of things and get back to what we know, and that's College Couch Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Javaris Harris here. Stack's Bridge forever in the building.
What's goody?
Listen, it feels weird. It does feel weird, especially taking that, little break. Hey, life happens, so we just had to rest up, get some things in order in our personal lives and stuff. So we're back and ready to rock. We're good. We're good. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. Stacks, how you doing over there,
Man,
my brother?
I'm feeling sensational. Look at my wounds a little bit about that Super Bowl. I know we don't talk about professional, but hey, that was a little bit of emotion going through that one.
Facts.
I will say halftime show phenomenal, and game did not disappoint.
100%. Now, exactly. Now we can hit on that before we get into it. Now, even though we don't talk about pro a lot, I will say that was a very entertaining Super Bowl. I really enjoyed the game from it was great. I mean, I don't have any complaints. I really don't.
Shout out to
Do I
the
wish
rookies and second year players that fresh from
Yes.
college and stuff. They got to experience the Super Bowl atmosphere because this. It's not a lot of people that could say that either they went to multiple Super Bowls in their first 2 seasons or won Super Bowls, and, won or went or whatever, Super Bowl by your name, even if it's not a win, although it hurts, is a I'm sure is a beautiful experience, So
For sure.
shouts out to those. So since we tied back into college,
Absolutely, 100% agree, and I think it's some guys that that I follow on social. Just seeing the pure joy that those guys experience, because every college athlete has aspirations to make to the NFL and winning a Super Bowl.
That's your goal
So
as
when
you know what I'm saying? As a football player, your goal is there's a national championship in college, and then to get to the pros so you can get a Super Bowl. Basketball, it's the NBA finals. It's you know what I'm saying, female and male. Like that's your whole thing. You want to win a championship.
100%.
So that's or even experience that atmosphere. Of course, you want to win it, but just the fact that you were there, like, not a lot of people even get to the dance. Like, we see a lot of players not even get there.
To win back to back, like, how crazy is that, bro?
Especially not even just like on some Patrick Mahomes GOAT type stuff, but the players like that are like first and second year players. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is big. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kansas City has figured something out, and although I know a lot of people, me included, are tired of seeing them there. It's much like at one point we were tired of seeing Bama there. At one point we was tired of seeing Georgia there. You know what I'm saying? So it happens with sports. Like, unless you're a fan of that team, you like, bro, all right, man, can we get somebody else in here?
Yeah.
And to that point, ladies and gentlemen, we got a 12 team playoffs this year, so we may see some different faces, different teams being crowned. We don't know, So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
I wish that could be something like that within the NFL, but it
it
is what it is.
I mean, you don't have 4 teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But with the NFL, you load up so much. Like, you literally are playing create a team in the NFL. Like, you got, you know what I'm saying? You got, okay, I'm finna go get this player from college. He's good. Let's go put him together. And then, let's go get this player from this team. You kind of like mold, and like, that's why, GMs are so underrated and underappreciated, because they put the teams together. I mean, of course, the players and the coaches and stuff like that are the pieces we see, and they're like the most important. They got to get on the field and play, and coaches got to coach. But the GMs go find these players and make these deals and stuff like that. So I mean, it's
For
kind of how
sure.
college is going without the GM status. It's more so the coaches
Mhm.
in college. So you know,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know.
But overall, great game. Again, no complaints. Love the halftime show, man. Usher did his thing and definitely showed out for the city of Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, I couldn't have been more
Hey,
proud. So,
as people from the A through and through, we were well
mm-hmm,
represented. Not only not
100%.
only Atlanta, but just the culture in general was
Mm-hmm.
brought and put on display at the halftime show.
Yeah,
Kind of mad, a little hurt that we didn't do it when it was at Atlanta, but they didn't. They didn't want Atlanta to be Atlanta for that night, because if
listen,
that halftime show would have happened in Atlanta when the Super Bowl was here, the city would have went berserk. Like it would have been a whole it'd been a whole shebang. It'd have
yeah.
been a whole thing. So
But listen. This is why I don't get into pros, because I hate talking about that mediocre franchise. I truly do, because they have broken my heart
well, I
since I was
mean,
a
as
legit.
with college, it happens. It happens. Like I mean, because
I
I
mean,
know Georgia
yeah,
broke your heart a couple times. You know what I'm saying, before they started getting their stuff
but
together. Trust me, I've
but
seen it.
hear me
I've
out.
seen I've seen y'all hearts get broken. You know.
But like they say though, Georgia taught me patience. The Falcons taught me hate, and the Braves taught me what was it? It's that old meme that they had. It was like such the one team taught me patience, one team taught me hate, and one team taught me just something else. But it was definitely the Braves in Georgia. The Falcons, yeah,
Well,
I could push
you
them
know,
to the side.
it happens. Like
It
just
does,
think
yeah,
about. I
it
put it like
does,
this.
it
I put it
does.
like this. You know, you have like with college, you have teams that then you didn't think have a shot to play for a
Hmm.
championship. So and they get in like TCU and Washington. Although they fell short, they made it. You know what I'm saying? For their fans, that was big. Falcons made it. Although they're part of the history on the wrong end, they made it. So you just gotta, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You can't win without having the losses, because I don't know a team that has just, you know what I'm saying, always been great forever and always, and never had some disappointments.
Hmm.
Because even Bama, before Saban got there, and while Saban was there, they had some, upsetting losses and stuff like that. So it happens with it comes with the
Yeah,
territory. That's why I personally can't be a bandwagon fan, because it's not fun. It's not fun to me. Like you
yeah,
say, okay, you can
yeah.
scream for the team. It's like, okay, well, next year if that team don't do it, you just go scream for another one. Like you can't even buy a T-shirt. You can't be like, oh, yo, I'm a Bama fan
No,
because they winning, and then go
mm,
buy Bama
no,
clothes, and then the next year Georgia's winning, so I'm a fan of Georgia, and then you go, come on, man. Let's like go through the good and bad. I'm an Auburn fan. I done been through some of everything. I'd have been the worst at bottom of the SEC. I'd have been the top of the SEC. I'd have been disappointed when we was supposed to go for a championship, didn't get put in. I mean, you know, I think that was like '04, something like that. We was undefeated, and
yeah,
they lowballed us pretty much and was like, nah, y'all ain't good enough to get to the championship. You
mm,
know, y'all didn't play the SEC
yeah.
and go undefeated or anything. So
Facts, facts,
so
facts. But yeah, man. Hey, listen. Overall, great. Um, that. Listen, that was great for our
yeah,
opening. Just
you
to
got to talk. I
expound on
felt
it.
that was
On
necessary to talk about that. You can't have
yes, yes.
podcasts, even if it's about college sports, because those were former college
Right. You
players. Like
gotta you gotta talk about. I mean,
about
it's only right
98,
to talk about it.
99% of those players once were in college and played before. So, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we got to give
Exactly.
kudos. That's the ultimate goal. You want to take care of your family,
Yes.
go to the league, play
Hmm.
for a Super Bowl, win it. So, I mean, college ain't forever. You know what I'm saying? Super
Hmm.
Bowls and, you know, all that type of stuff don't come often. And NFL is like the the goal. That's where you retire your family at. You know what I'm saying? That's where
Yep.
all the
One
hard
hundred
work
percent.
starts to pay off. Even though they say the real work begins in the NFL, but And I agree with that. But I think that's like you get that moment of oh man, I made it.
Yeah.
Like from Pop Warner to what I'm saying, to middle school to high school to college, I made it. So
Yeah. No, I agreed, man. Agreed. But yeah, we're not gonna take too much time on that one. But dude, I have a serious question for you. Like this right here has been like sitting on my mind for a while, and it's been a talk that's been really floating through the NCAA men's division of things with basketball, of course. And man, I have to ask you, bro, do you feel that Bronny is NBA ready?
I think he would have been had he not went through what he went through. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
people are forgetting that he had a heart attack essentially. That is hard to come back from and play at
Yeah.
the level that you once played at. So I think normally I'd be like, yeah, this player is not. No, we shouldn't. If Bronny wouldn't have went through that and played this season and he had the stats that he had, I'd have been like, nah, because if he goes to the league now, everybody gonna say it's because of his dad, this, that, and the third. But because of what he's went through, with the cardiac arrest, I'm like, let's give this kid some grace. Like he dang near lost his life at the beginning of the season. Like, come on, like, and then you don't have time to really prep for the season because you're in the hospital, you're trying to rehab and get back right. I mean, that's your heart. Like that's what keeps you moving up and down the court. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think he's NBA ready. I think his game is. I think his game is NBA ready. The way he plays
Yeah. As
basketball,
far as
I think that's ready because he has the mindset.
yeah.
He has the skill. Like he's the true definition of a point guard. So he
Yeah.
can facilitate, make your team better. Because with the short time that he's been with the team and stuff like that, with the minutes that he's had, although his numbers don't reflect it, in my opinion, he makes his teammates better. And his teammates are excited for him. But I personally believe he should come back for another year. You know,
That was going to be and I should have added
No, no,
that
no.
on to my question. Do you feel like he's
I
one
had
and
to
done?
explain my reasoning first,
Yeah.
so because I don't want it to
Yeah. Do
seem
you feel
like
like he's one and
right. I don't
done?
want it to seem like with his game right now that he is not ready. His game is. I think
Yeah.
his game is ready, but I think he needs that next year
Mhm.
to have a full off season where he can train properly without any
Yeah.
cardiac arrest or anything or any injuries or anything like that. A full off season, come back, uh, ready to play because I mean USC has not been that great this year. They haven't been super, stellar. Now the women's side they've been pretty good.
Yeah.
With I can't think of her,
Taking
right.
over.
I can't. Yeah, I can't think of her name. She hitting 51. Juju. Yeah,
Juju
yeah.
Watkins. Yes.
Shouts out to the USC women's basketball team for balling out and her especially. But yeah, I think he just needs another year to, not necessarily develop. I think his game it can translate to the NBA. I just think
Yeah.
mentally, after you go through something traumatic like that, you don't hit that gear like you once did.
Mhm.
And I even saw a interview with Gilbert Arenas where he said that he worked out with LeBron before college and stuff, and Bronny, lets his teammates eat first. He's that type of player. But when he hits that switch, it's dang near impossible to guard him
Mhm.
because he knows where everybody's supposed to be at. He's a winner. He has a winner's mindset, but he lets his team eat. He's much like his dad when it comes to pass first, being like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he just has to take that year, get his mental right, so that he can cut that light on, so that he can be the dominant player that I've seen him be, from high school and some flashes of it this year. because we've
Yeah.
seen some flashes
I
of it.
uh, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Um, and you're right. USC has not been great this season. They're 9-15 currently, and they're last in the conference. And I think if Bronny truly wants to have that college experience, to have that March Madness experience, I think he should stay an extra year. I think a lot of people have put a lot of pressure on him, especially with the talks of him potentially playing with his dad, and his dad wanting to play with him before he retires and stuff like that. You got to think. I mean, the kid is only 18, 19 years old,
Right,
so he's had all this pressure on him
smart,
since he was a child,
right.
to be this next phenom, coming behind his dad. But at the same time, I think LeBron, from an aspect, still wants him to have a legacy of his own and not have to follow behind the shadow of him.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think a extra year will be great for him. And even if he wants to do all four, even better, get your degree. But definitely, yeah, I'm really thinking the extra year will be good, because you gotta think. I mean, they have a guy. I hope I'm not saying his. It's Isaiah something. Isaiah. But he's the starting point guard, and stud. I mean, the kid can ball. But I think he recently got injured, and I don't know. I don't know how long he's out for. Isaiah Collier, from matter of fact, from Atlanta. Isaiah Collier, freshman from Atlanta. Man, he can hoop. So I think that was one of the things too when Isaiah committed to USC. It was kind of like, okay, they're gonna probably be battling for this for that starting job. But I mean, again, things happen. So, um, I mean, what more can I
Yeah, I
say?
mean,
It's
to
just
to
like
expound on that, like I think Bronny wants to create a legacy for himself, because he
exactly.
changed his name from LeBron James Jr. to Bronny, so that he could, he
Hmm.
told his dad he want to be in the league for himself, like, what I'm saying, to make his own
Yeah.
legacy, make his own mark. He said that to Bron
Hmm.
himself. I remember on the episode of I think The Shop, and Bron was talking about that.
Mm.
Um, I don't think he's gonna stay 4 years. I mean, that in football that would have been ideal, because that's the norm, kind of, sorta, three to
Yeah.
four years. But in basketball, um, you, I hate that this happens. But when you stay 4 years, your draft stock and stuff like that,
It
goes
plummets.
down.
Yeah.
Outside of him wanting to play with his dad and his dad wanting to play with him. Um, but I think, like to your point, like, I think if he wants to really be completely ready, I think one more year, just because, like I said, it's all the stuff he went through. Outside of the other point guard that they have, although he balls out, I think Bronny has that ability too. I think Bronny's very, very good. I mean, he plays
Mm.
games the right way, has a high IQ, can handle the rock. His leaping ability is like his dad, but he's shorter. So I mean, and he plays good defense. So I mean, he has everything
Yeah.
you would want in a point guard. It's just, um, when you go through something like that, you don't have that gear like you might want. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're kind of
Yeah.
hesitant in the back of your mind. You like, I don't want to push myself too hard because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And then, I'm not sure if he's on a minutes restriction or not. I know, I know, I
No,
know.
I
In the
don't.
beginning he
I
was. I
don't.
know in the beginning he was.
Yeah, definitely when the season first started,
And
absolutely. But
that's time too. That's time too that you lose. Like, I
yeah.
mean, everybody wants to talk about, even with football too. Like, the beginning of the season, although for your schedule and winning and losing is not as important, that time you get with your team, and you learn stuff about players. Like, in basketball, you learn, like, cause you run scrimmages in practice and stuff like that, and that's how you
Mm.
get chemistry. But it's nothing like playing together in a real game against players that you don't see every day. You know what I'm saying? Learning
Yeah.
people's tendencies and stuff like that with your team. That those moments were lost for him in those first few games and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it takes a while to build chemistry to gel, and then you have all of that as a point guard because you know the point guard you're supposed to be the quarterback of the floor. So
Yeah. Well,
if you have in the back of your mind have that mental blockage in the back of your mind with the
mm,
injury, you're not gonna be 100% for your team. So
yeah. I will add on to you. In the month of February, he has been averaging roughly around 20 minutes.
okay,
So the first it was 22 minutes, the third it was 29, on the 7th it was 28, and then recently on the 10th it was 24. So he's been definitely seeing an increase in minutes, since
right,
January,
right,
and then of course when the season first started. So he's getting a time, but it's just more so what he's doing on the floor when he's on there. So but like you said, his game is there. I think once he actually settles in and really gets that flow of things, because you got, again, eh, coming off a medical emergency like
right.
that, it's pretty
Right, I don't care
traumatizing.
who you are.
It's
I don't
very
care who
traumatizing.
your dad
Yeah.
is, whatever. You have
Hmm.
cardiac arrest beginning of the season. Your game is you gonna change a little bit. Like in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
like, bro, oh wait a minute, I don't want this to happen again or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
once I think another year will not only it'll develop his game more. But I
Mhm.
also think that he gonna get his confidence back in not just his
Yeah.
game, but in himself, in his body. You know what I'm saying? And and that's what you want as a player. You want to be able to trust your body is gonna do
Hmm.
what you've trained it to do. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
if you have any doubt in that, then that's when your game starts to dwindle. Like LeBron has been as great
Yes.
as he has for as long as he has because his body's been in shape and he's been able to do the things
Hmm.
that he's good at consistently, throughout his career. Like every great, Kobe, Jordan, every great in any sport, um, once when they're healthy and they can trust their body to do the things that they know is capable of doing and the stuff that they've trained it to do, they are their complete selves 100%. But when you don't have that takes away from your game. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. And I mean, yeah, man, I really think he'll
oh, for
bounce
sure,
back.
for sure,
If we know again, I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest players of all times, son.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Who
So,
has handled the pressure of being LeBron's son very well,
of
very well.
being right. I mean, listen, when I say he literally, when I say that's one of the most out of the way, like, child stars, or yeah, child of a star or celebrity. I mean, the only thing I probably have known Bronny to do is just play the game with his friends and go to school and play ball. So yeah, definitely keep that up. I mean, that's really how you want to go about life. Just stay out the way.
Right,
Keep your nose clean and
right,
play ball. Do something that you love. So yeah, man. I mean, that's really all I can say about Bronny. I mean, the kid has a lot of potential, and he's gonna definitely grow wherever he goes. And also, another thing I thought about too, even a downside I did want to add. If even if he were to go into the league today, just think about the teammates that he would potentially have around him that would help him grow and develop as an NBA player now, as a pro,
that's what you would
like,
expect. Yeah, yeah.
right. But I mean, too, I don't think there's a lot of teams that would just throw their rookie under the bus and not want to have him develop, for that pro scene,
Well, I
like,
mean, even with with with,
that's just
with
so
that, I mean,
uncommon.
you fight like when you get to that level. You know what I'm saying? That's
Hmm.
when because your legacy, you start making your legacy when you start playing. So,
Right.
as a child, as a child of a superstar like LeBron, it's tough. Like, because everybody's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be talking about how you only made it to the league because of your dad or or what your last name is. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to say that Bronny plays like this, but like Austin Rivers. You know what I'm saying? He was good, you know what I'm saying? But then when he played with
Yeah.
his dad, it's like everything was like doubting, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, um, he hasn't put up like superstar numbers or whatever, but he's not a bad player. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just with the NBA, you have to adapt to whatever role you have on that team. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that's that. I mean, I don't think he's gonna have a problem with that. It's just, it's hard to be living in the shadow of your dad every second, every moment, or whatever. But I think his game is gonna speak for itself. Um,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't think he should go pro this year, but if he does, I think I
Yeah.
think he'll
No.
figure it out because he's smart
Mm-hmm.
enough, you know, on and off the court that he can maneuver it. He's been dealing with his whole life, so I mean, it's not like it's anything new, So
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, yeah, man. Yeah, I think he'll be once again he'll be fine. So I gotta move on. I have to move on. I have to move on, bro. Let me tell you something. I have some sleeper teams, especially with us about to hit March. Literally in a few more weeks, we're about to enter into March Madness. Let me tell you something. Zach Edey and Purdue is one team right now that I'm really looking like. I'm really feeling Purdue. Like I'm really crystal balling Purdue going very far into the March Madness tournament. Like Zach Edey, I mean 7-4, 7-5. Brother just made his first career three. 7-4 now. 7-4. This is a big guy, bro. Like this is a big guy. Just made his first career three, which we don't see a lot. But the man can rebound. I mean, he's controlling the paint. Like this man is a facilitator. Like this man, you're gonna have a battle when you're playing up against this guy because he's gonna pretty much average around 16 rebounds a game. That's scary, bro.
yeah,
That
yeah,
is scary.
yeah. I mean, I don't have any sleeper teams, but for me, it's hard to say because it's so many teams with March
Mm-hmm.
Madness and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, cause I thought at one point
Yeah.
the way Auburn was playing that we were gonna be in the mix, but the way we're playing now, it's like maybe not. But
Well, I mean, y'all did lose to Florida
yes,
this
we
past
have
week,
not
which
beat
I
Florida in
thought.
the last I don't know how many years. Um,
Yeah, but I really thought this was gonna be the year that y'all like. I was like, okay, Florida can definitely be that team that just comes out of nowhere and punch you in the mouth. But I was like, okay, like Auburn is looking really, really
yeah,
good. Like I was like,
right.
they
That's
got it.
that's what
Like
I thought too. I mean, the way I
yeah,
look at they have a good team. Auburn has a good team, like
mm-hmm.
meaning like not
Yeah,
just like superstars, this, that, and the third. Of course, you got names that stand out or to you, or whatever, but
mm-hmm.
they play very well together. And Bruce Pearl has done a phenomenal job with the program. But I don't know. I don't know. This one is tough for me to call. I mean, I like
Yeah,
Purdue. I've seen them a couple times this season. Um, you know, but again, you can't leave those blue bloods out like Duke and Kentucky and
mm-hmm.
Kansas. You can't leave those out. But
Unfortunately,
it's March Madness, so we don't know who's gonna match up with who and how they're gonna match up with
mm-hmm.
these teams. It's so hard to predict because it's so many games and so many teams, and like if one team matches up with a team that they're supposed to beat, but when they play each other, the matchups is out this world. Like they play defense
Yeah,
phenomenally on this team, or they end up
mm-hmm.
shooting well that night because all you have to have is one good game at a time. That's it. You know, you just have to
That's
have
all it
it click
takes.
for one time. That's it. That is it.
And what's crazy is, bro, Auburn is literally third in the conference right now. Y'all are behind South Carolina and Alabama, which y'all just beat Alabama last
Yeah.
week as
That's
well.
only because
So like,
they beat us, we beat them. So yeah.
yeah, I mean, so okay, series tie, but dude, even when y'all see them in the conference tourney, like like you said, anything can happen. It's that one game that can turn things around. So like, and y'all end up winning the conference, which will be, dude, man, the Plains will go
Right,
crazy
right,
if
right.
y'all win the tournament. So again, like anything can happen. Let me, bro. I told you about that jungle, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
A perfect record at home, might I add, this
Of
season,
course. I
12-0.
mean, the
Come
energy
on,
is
man.
always brought. I mean, come on now.
That is
You say what
crazy,
you want about any of our teams, our fan base brings it every time. Every time.
bro. 12-0. I mean, a perfect 12-0 in at home.
And
So
that's what you're
yeah,
supposed to
man.
do.
Like
That's what you're supposed to do
that's
at home.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
are supposed to be
You
gimmicks.
handle
I don't care
business.
who you going up against. You play them at home.
Mm-hmm.
That it dead in the water. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, listen, I really think the conference tournament should be great for the SEC this year. I mean, on the women's side, it really can go either way too. I mean, South Carolina, yeah, they're number one right now, but
I'm calling it.
you all right over
I
there?
can
Okay.
call it for the women. I can call it for the women.
Are you calling
South
it?
Carolina gonna pull that mug out. I ain't gonna hold you.
Really? You don't think LSU can? You don't think LSU can do anything? What is it? Okay? So is it because Auburn beat them, and I'm not taking anything away from Auburn women because they're
Oh,
great,
they ball out.
but
They played.
yeah, absolutely, 100%. But what is it that's telling you that LSU can't
Well, I'm
come
not
in
saying
and
that they can't. I'm just saying that South Carolina is not even just because they're number one. It's
mhm,
how they are number one. They are balling like it's their
okay.
last time being a team. Like like we not gonna be able to play with each other anymore. So we leaving it
I
all.
mean, essentially, it is with the
That's what
seniors.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
get
like
that. Yeah,
everybody's playing like that. Freshman, sophomore, junior,
yeah,
senior. When you
yeah.
got everybody balling out like that, and then you got Don Staley as your coach who ain't taking no mess. Who, to me, in my opinion, is the Saban of women's basketball right now. Or the Kirby Smarters right now. Whatever, however you want to say it,
Mhm.
however you want to call it, or whatever. But South Carolina is that deal, man. I don't.
No,
I
agreed,
don't think I
agreed.
just don't think nobody's gonna beat them in not out the SEC. LSU will be the
Yeah,
closest. Auburn, in my opinion, will be the next closest. Not just because I'm a fan, just because they play very well.
I mean they've done
They
it.
play defense.
They've
They
done it.
play defense very
Yeah,
well.
they've done it.
But one thing about South Carolina, they adapt and they figure it out and they go back to work and they come back and you're not gonna get the same South Carolina team twice.
My thing is how, bro. Like every game for them is literally a business trip. For you to be a perfect 23-0 going into about to head into the end of conference play, you're about to get into the tourney and then you qualify for March Madness. How are you still a perfect 23? 23 games is not easy. Like we're I mean, don't get me wrong, like you don't just walk probably for South Carolina, they probably do just walk into people's arenas like we're gonna win, but that's not an easy task.
My
Like that is
point
not an easy
exactly.
task.
They're disciplined. The coach don't take no stuff. She don't
Yes.
care if you up 20, you up 5, you up 2, you up 60. She don't care. Put your foot on the gas. Don't let it off of it. Play smart,
Yeah.
play within yourself, and we're gonna be disciplined. We're gonna win with grace, and we're gonna keep it pushing. That's how she coaches, in my opinion. And when you coach like
Mm.
that, and your players buy into it, you You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you never
Yeah.
get the same one. You just get the same disciplines. You don't get the same, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So South Carolina, man, if LSU beats them, I will be surprised. If any, I'm being honest. If anybody else beats them, I would be surprised. Cause think about it. Um, all the other teams, you can name off one player, and that's like that's the player that's holding this together. Like that's like for LSU, the main player that's been when she's been in the game that's been consistent is Angel Reese and I think the backup that she has I can't think her name.
It's probably Morrow, Anissa
Yeah,
Morrow,
I
because
think yeah the other
yeah,
forward yeah.
yeah, because what's crazy enough, they're actually playing on the floor at the same time a
That's
lot
what I'm
now,
saying. Because
and
when Angel Reese
yeah,
was out,
Morrow's
she
been
took
going
over, but
crazy.
everybody else has been
Yeah.
shaky. It's just been those two that's
Mm-hmm.
been consistent. Is what I'm getting at. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With South Carolina, everybody across the board, like everybody's doing their job. You know, one has an off
Mm-hmm.
night, everybody else picks up the slack. I can't really, me personally, I can't say that for LSU based off of the games that I've watched. And I've watched them several times this year. You know, based off of that game, it's you know, even when they lost to Auburn, I only saw those two being the dominant
Yeah.
ones. You know what I'm saying? Um, but
I'm not gonna lie. When they lost that opener to Colorado, like I think a lot of other people, including myself, were probably just sitting in front of TV like, oh wow.
I wasn't shocked. Did I call it? No, I didn't call it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't shocked. You know, um,
Well, I mean, coming
only reason I wasn't
listen,
the only
defending champ.
reason that I was not shocked is because of all the attention that they got
Mm-hmm.
after after the
Agreed.
championship. All the attention they got, everybody pegging them as the ones that's gonna do it, and everybody
Yeah.
you got Flage, going on interviews, doing rap videos with different artists. Now, don't get me wrong, that's beautiful. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Said that's beautiful.
Keep on doing your thing. Rap, make
Yeah, for sure.
music, take advantages of all your opportunities. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, when you do all of that and you on these shows as like
Mm-hmm.
the big dogs and the people to beat and that's all people see. You gotta think Colorado and all these teams, especially Colorado, that first game, they had LSU on their radar from the jump. When they find out the schedule, okay, this is who we got. And that's
Mm-hmm.
all you saw on social media. You couldn't pick up your phone without seeing Flage or Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you come into that, you get hit in the mouth. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get hit in the mouth when you I'm not saying that this is exactly how they felt. This is just what I perceived it. They felt like they was the ish. They
Yeah.
thought they was that deal and got hit in the mouth. Now,
I mean, and it's
you
fair.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And to their credit, I don't think they lost again until Auburn. You know? But even still, I mean, they weren't undefeated last year. Like I think I said that at the beginning of the season. I said just because you lost to
Mm-hmm.
those teams don't mean that you can't win the championship.
Yeah.
It's just now you got to realize when you win a championship, no matter what sport it is, that next season you got a target on your back. Everybody's hunting you. Everybody wants to beat you just to say that we beat the people that everybody said was the big dog.
Yeah.
So South Carolina, they right now they haven't won a championship. They didn't win a championship last year, but they're undefeated. So everybody's gunning for them, which is why I feel like they won't fall because the way they've handled being undefeated. The way they handle they don't get as much press. Nobody's talking about them like they talk about LSU. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They that LSU is still the hunted, but South Carolina got the best record. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you something. They got something to prove. So and they play
Mm-hmm.
like it. LSU is just trying to not fall. South Carolina is trying to prove something. So when you're trying to
Yeah.
prove something, to me, you play it with a different energy. When you just try not to fall, that's when, to me, that's when mistakes happen. You know what I'm saying? When you just
Mm-hmm.
trying so hard to focus on trying to be the person or be the player that everybody thinks you should be, when you mess up, instead of just playing your game and attacking everybody like this gonna end our season if we lose this game. And that's how, to me, how South Carolina is playing. So that's my take on
Hey, that was Can have said it better
it.
myself. I will tell you that. I will tell you that, man. But yeah, no. Again, it's really. I will say, yeah. On the men's side, it's really anyone's game right now because of just the play. I mean, even another team that I forgot to mention, Tennessee, out of the SEC.
Yeah.
Like Tennessee is looking really good right now. So it's anybody's game out of out of the SEC for the men's division. But yeah, it's still a little rocky for the women's side. I mean, yeah, South Carolina's probably going to end up coming out, but still, hey, you don't take a day off. I'll
Oh, for
say that.
sure.
I'll
And
put it
I
like
and
that.
I don't think
Yeah,
Deion
don't take a
Staley's
day off.
gonna allow them to.
Yeah.
Which is, if it
Oh
had
yeah.
been any
It
other
ain't a
coach, I'd have been
vacation.
like, oh, maybe they just on a good run right now. But
Yeah.
with her as
Yeah.
the coach, I'm like, nah, she ain't gonna let them joker
Hmm.
let up. She,
Right.
you know,
Exactly. For sure. For sure. Yes. Yeah. But hey, let's move over to our big story right now. And it's, of course, we're kind of rounding the bases now of the transfer portal and stuff as far as with football. And a lot of it's kind of died down as of right now, in my opinion. Until we start getting into the spring. Spring game is about to come up and stuff like that. So one school in particular, and this is a school that I'm really nervous about as far as in the SEC. Dude, do you understand, or have you like read into Ole Miss having 18 transfers? 18. Like they're literally number one in the rankings for transfers coming
well,
there. I don't know what Lane Kiffin is doing, but let me tell you something. I think they're building something that's probably gonna just shake up the
that
entire
could
SEC
be.
next year.
It could go both ways. I mean, cause
Ooh, okay.
Ole Miss. Don't get me wrong. I've said it before. I think Ole Miss, under Lane Kiffin, has been a great program. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but let's not jump the gun. Just because you got the number one transfer portal class doesn't mean that it's gonna be a beautiful thing for you. Cause let's not forget, Deion Sanders
Okay.
last year had the number one transfer class last year, and they didn't even make a
Yeah.
bowl. So, you
Okay.
know, Auburn had the number three
What?
transfer class, number 3 or 4
Okay.
last year, and we,
Yeah.
only won what, 6 games.
Yeah.
So it's not jump the gun. So what I want people to realize is, just because you get a lot of talent from the transfer portal does not mean it's going to translate on the field together. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Okay, you can have talented people. Prime example, um, Georgia didn't have a lot of transfers last year, but they had a lot of talented people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
although record was good, and the numbers were there in some areas, they still fell short of a lot of things. Um, so because they played well together, but the defense wasn't as cohesive as it once was. You have to have cohesion. You have to have, because like I said, Auburn had a lot of transfers last year. Like, transfers are temporary, so you have no
Mm-hmm.
time really to build chemistry with people. You have until the time they step foot on campus, until the game starts. I mean, to the first
Mm-hmm.
game. That's a short window. But as far as players that's been there, when you don't have a lot of transfer and you get recruits, you know what I'm saying, like that,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all build something. Um, you have that chemistry. Your wide receivers and quarterbacks are on the same page. Linemen are on the same page. Your defensive players on the same page. Prime example: Georgia's championship, the first one. That wasn't a lot of transfer people. You know, they were all on the
Yeah.
team when they lost to Alabama the first time. You know, they were built together. They had that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew what to do. You mess up, I'm coming at you. But when you do good the next play, I'm gonna be the first one in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't miss a play, I won't miss a play. You don't miss a play. This where you supposed to be at. I know where you like the ball at. I know what space you do well at. When you have a lot of transfer, you have to learn that about people. It's like starting the process over. It's like having a brand new car, but you ain't drove it yet. You know, yeah, it's a nice car, but I don't know. We ain't spent no time. I don't know how this car like to be driven. I don't know. I don't realize
Yeah.
that if I drive it like this, it's gonna lean to the left a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I have to. You got to knock the kinks out to build that chemistry with your team.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, yes, but I look at it this way too. Now, with a lot of the guys that transferred out of Ole Miss and they're going to their respective schools, a lot of guys have pretty much already either been crystal ball to these schools or they already have, pretty much gave commit. Where do you feel that the guys that are leaving out and the guys that are coming in, do you feel like those guys may? I mean, I look at it this way: could they potentially be a difference maker?
Oh, for
Absolutely,
sure, for sure. I'm not saying this. That
but
wasn't the golden rule. What I was saying. I'm just saying
yeah,
normally.
but I really look at it this way: Ole Miss, for don't get me wrong, making it to a New Year's Six bowl is pretty darn good. Like when you make it to a New Year's Six, especially like a team like Ole Miss, they always get so close. Like they always get this close to making it. And then they face an Alabama or Georgia, and it's just like, okay, well, never mind. But I think that's always been a school, like especially with a coach like a offensive minded coach like Lane Kiffin. You just never know what you're gonna get. And I mean, Jackson Dart and Quinshawn Judkins and Trey Harris, all those guys, like studs like that, showed it this season. So it's just like I'm really leaning towards them. Like they're definitely gonna be a top 12 team. I mean,
Well,
a 12 team. They're gonna be in the playoff picture. Let me
we
say
have
it
to
like
see
that.
though, cause think about it. This
Yeah.
past year was I think a lot of people they may realize they just don't say it. Ole Miss and a lot of the teams in the SEC took advantage of a lot of the SEC was rebuilding this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like think about everybody that was rebuilding. Only two that there was only three teams in my opinion that weren't rebuild mode or trying to build or whatever. That was Georgia, that was Ole Miss, and that was oh, LSU wasn't in a rebuild mode, and Bama. So four teams. So Bama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss. They to me
Mm-hmm.
were the four teams that were not in rebuild mode. So that leaves Mississippi State, which is in rebuild mode. You have Auburn in rebuild mode, Florida in rebuild mode, Arkansas in rebuild mode. So dang near the Vanderbilt is in build mode. um. So think about
You
it.
gotta
Think about
stop
it. And,
that.
if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But from what I've seen
Mm-hmm.
this past year, nobody for real in the SEC, in my opinion, outside of those four teams, were a real super threat like they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think
Yeah.
about it. LSU, the West was wide open. The West had three teams
Mm-hmm.
that were gunning for the championship, right? They're going to the SEC championship to win the West. And those three teams were what? You had LSU, Bama, Ole Miss. In the East, who did you have that was in contention for the East? Georgia. That's it.
Just Georgia.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So you didn't. So you weren't really sold on Tennessee this
no,
past season.
no.
Okay.
I think their best
Okay.
chance to make it was last year.
Okay.
I didn't believe in their quarterback that much. And outside of their quarterback, they didn't have a dominant defense. They didn't have
Mm-hmm.
much outside of that offense is built off of quarterback receiver chemistry. 'Cause think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, what was the two people? It was two people that were talked about on that Tennessee team.
Yeah, it was God. Their wideout plays for New
Yeah,
York now.
I can't think of his name. I can't
Yeah, I
think of
think
his name
yeah.
either. I know he was number 11. And
Jalen
yeah,
Hyatt.
Hyatt.
Jalen
And then
Hyatt.
you had
Mm.
was it Hooker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hayden Hooker.
So you had
Hendon
and the
Hooker.
Hooker.
Hendon
So
Hooker. Yeah.
those were the two,
Mm-hmm.
right? They didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
me. They didn't have that this year. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't so I was I'm not I wasn't even sold on Auburn this year as a fan because I didn't know what I was gonna get because it's first year head coach,
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of transfers. We don't know how they're gonna play together. Got because the thing with transfers, especially at the college level with transfers in football, um, you're transferring, you're coming up under a new defensive coach. So you're coming up under a new
Mm-hmm.
defensive coach. That defensive coach doesn't know you anymore. They just seen what they've seen on film. So they haven't
Right.
seen you in practice. So where you were, they might have known what your tendencies were in practice and put you in right positions and stuff like that. So you're relearning each other. So you're learning a coach again,
Mm-hmm.
you're learning a culture again, and then you're learning your teammates. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
say, although good that you have those players, you want talent. It's just you have so much to that so much that goes into it outside of just being talented when you transfer. That's why I always say
Right.
go to a place that is your best fit for you, not just a place that
Mm-hmm.
you think because all of superstars are there, go there. No, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, especially with NIL deal and money, egos get involved. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Right. So
100%. Yeah.
so you got. I mean, Georgia's reloaded. They have a whole lot of transfers and a whole lot of positions. What is going to happen
Mm-hmm.
when some of these players don't get the touches that they want? You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen? When they're not getting the calls that they want. Cause I mean, y'all have what's his name? Etienne. Y'all got him at running back this year. Y'all have y'all picked up. I think y'all picked up some defensive players and a tight end, a big time tight end.
Yeah.
So if they don't get touches in the right places or the right times or whatever, what's gonna happen? And then how are
Yeah.
the coaches gonna handle that? I mean, I'm just saying the what ifs. I'm not saying that Georgia won't be good because y'all have the most.
But I mean, that's a fair.
Yeah,
That's a
you have
fair
the most.
point,
What
though.
you have the most important piece though. Your quarterback is not
Mm-hmm.
a transfer, so your
Yeah.
quarterback knows the system, and he has the same offensive coordinator again for a second year. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what you guys
Yeah.
have working in your favor. Now, what
Right.
you don't have a Brock Bowers anymore. Although you have a good tight end that's just transferred in, he's no Brock Bowers. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, we have to see. We have to see how they play together. But what I do like about um Kirby is that he instills a mindset in his players and he picks players that have a mindset of we want to win. We ain't just coming. There ain't no egos here. We trying to play football. Want to be on the same page. We want to be dominant, not just you know what I'm saying good. We're not just great. We want to be elite. Like you know what I'm saying. So I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. A lot that goes into it. But I definitely think this year, Ole Miss is a team to watch. I agree with you on that. Um, I just I'm a firm believer, and I have to see it put together first before I make a
Mm-hmm.
judgment call of who's going. You know, and then right now, Ole Miss is in a good position too, because Bama and
Yeah.
LSU are reloading now. They rebuilding now.
Yeah.
So uh, so it could very well potentially be a year for them to make the SEC championship. You know, and fortunate for Georgia too, the East is still rebuilding completely. So and everybody wants to say, oh, well, the East is Georgia just beating up on the East. I'm like, well, I mean, you got to get recruits. I mean, you have to get people to come to your school. You know,
I mean, simple.
and
Hey,
and
what little baby say? Simple
right,
as
and I
that.
mean, I say both ways. I always be like, yeah, well, shoot, y'all got cupcake schedule because the East week, and I stand on that. But I also fault the other teams. It's like, bro, go out here and
Well,
recruit.
I about to say not no more. Especially with what Texas and Oklahoma
Well,
in
now,
the,
well,
in the
now,
picture.
we'll
Well,
see. We'll see what Ole Miss you got now. Even though Bama and LSU are rebuilding, now you have a Texas coming in, and then you have Oklahoma. So
mhm.
so it's. I thought that was a good move for them, not just for their colleges, but for the SEC because now, um, you have a little bit more competition on both sides. Even though to me the West was always, well, not always, but the last few years has been the harder side of the SEC, in my opinion. Just because of the rebuilds that everybody's been doing. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be an interesting year. I mean, I think Texas, Ole Miss, I think as far as right now, from what I've seen and who's coming back and who's reloaded, I think those two teams out of the West are gonna be the teams to look out for. So I mean, I'm hoping, of course, I'm as a fan, I'm hoping Auburn with all the additions they've added, because they added,
Right.
defenders from Alabama. They've got players coming back. I mean, we still got our running backs, our solid running back group. We've added a lot
Yeah.
of receivers, so hopefully, I know the freshmen are gonna get to play a lot. So our biggest question mark is our line and our quarterback. So I mean, I don't know how that's gonna shake up, but again, I'm a firm believer in seeing how it looks on the field. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, hey, I think that's fair, and I mean, as always, you make pretty solid points as the topic goes. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just pretty much a wait and see game to see. But I also think Ole Miss is definitely building something that's really gonna probably be like
right.
turning heads as far as the SEC goes into
I
next season
agree.
as
I
well.
agree.
So we'll
I
see.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah, we shall see. But hey, last topic for tonight, brother. And I talked about this on Facebook a few days ago, or probably a week or so now, dude. So things are shaking up in the state of South Carolina right now, like big time as far as NIL deals go. So this comes, basically, if you haven't heard by now, Georgia's quarterback Carson Beck just cashed out on a what I see people saying that it was a $250,000, maybe $300,000. It's in that range of $250 to $300. But he got a Lamborghini Urus, correct? But literally the day after that, Clemson head coach Dabo Sweeney and South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer go to the South Carolina State House in order to pretty much put a regulation on NIL deals. Basically, it's to they want to pretty much be able to evaluate deals and give advice to athletes and stuff. Basically, they want to be able to work with the companies and whoever is trying to give these athletes NIL deals. My thing on it is how I'm looking at it is you wouldn't want me to go to your boss and say, "Hey, I think this person should be making this much," or tell me how much this person is making so I can go back and give them advice on if they need to try to negotiate a higher pay or this, that, and the third. That's how I feel about it. I don't necessarily think these guys need advice on what because obviously how I'm looking at it is you're kind of in their in their business deal. Like
Well,
there's no need for my coach to be in any of my business deals when it comes to my money that I'm earning. You're my
first
coach,
off,
right?
first off, with that, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. I recruited you. So I recruited you.
You recruited
So
me,
so
but you
so so
didn't. You're not.
essentially you coming to this school, you got this NIL deal because I got you to come here, right? Right? So
Okay,
so so my
okay.
I'm
I see
now
where this is
now
going, but
now
okay.
now I'm not saying that they should watch these athletes money and be like, you know, but like I've said before, stipulations definitely need to be put on these players. Like a lot of people might disagree with me and say, "Hey, these colleges are making all this money off of these." I said, "You gotta earn your NIL deal." Because think about it. Think about it. The tables have shifted because some teams can't compete with these other schools. Like, and
Mm,
think about it. Coaches are hurt because Their entire job is to what? Coach and win championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
If players making more money than me, he won't listen to me because he says he makes more money than me, and you can't tell me that a 19, 18-year-old is not gonna say that to a coach. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it a little bit harder for a coach to talk to you because you know what I'm saying? It's like, I recruited you to come here or whatever, but the only reason you came here is because the money I got. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
fair.
then sometimes, and then if you look at it, like Georgia's loaded across the board, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to do much as a player on the field because you have so much talent. So your nights are gonna be light or whatever sometimes because this player might eat, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, you come in here, your load is not the same as if you were going to somebody that was rebuilding. So, the load at playing
Yeah.
at Georgia, although you might not get that much playing time, your load is not as much, but you will get your touches. You know, Auburn,
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna get your touches and your load is gonna be more. You know what I'm saying? So, like for instance, Georgia don't have to run the ball 30 times because they got 1,200 receivers. You know what I'm saying? Carson Beck is gonna be all right because he got all day to throw because he got a superstar line. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to do much. Is my point. He doesn't have to do much. He's making more than coaches.
in order to be paid big
He's
money.
being paid big money. And a lot of these players are getting paid big money before they even take a snap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Carson Beck, to me, has he earned his money? He had the numbers last year. He put it up. He had a lot of help. Whatever. Disagree with me if you want to, America. I don't care. He had a lot of help. You know what I'm saying? A lot of help. Had a superstar running back. Well, in my opinion, superstar running backs. He had good receivers. Had a good tight end. Had a great line. Had a great head coach.
If anything, you should have said superstars high end. The running back was high.
I thought he was super. They just didn't run the ball with him as much.
It depends on which one you're talking about.
I'm talking about the starter, number 2. I can't think his name.
Kendall
Yes.
Milton. But funny enough, Kendall Milton wasn't our starter. It was
Not
Dejon
at the beginning of the
Edwards.
season. I get that. I understand that. But he
Yeah,
definitely showed what he could do. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So
Yes.
when I say superstar, that to me is when he gets the ball, is he a threat to score? Anytime Milton,
Yes.
anytime Milton touches the ball, he's a threat to score. I
Mm-hmm.
don't say I'm not when I say superstar, that doesn't mean that he's the best running back in the room. I'm not saying that. You can have a room full of superstars. Alabama done showed it plenty of times. They had running backs 1 through 4 were superstars. So what I'm saying when
Let's
when I say that is you're a superstar in my opinion. If every time you touch the
yeah.
ball you're a threat to score. Brock Bowers,
Mm-hmm.
superstar. Milton, superstar. Although to me he has some stuff to develop on. What is his name? McConkey. Brad
Lad McConkey. Yeah.
McConkey, he every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to score. You know, like I said, I sound biased on that because I think he needs to work on his route running, but that's just my opinion from what I saw. But he's still a threat to score from wherever he touches the ball because he has getaway speed. So when I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
that to say is he had a lot of help, but um Dabo and the South Carolina coach, they have to play against these teams, and they might not be able to compete financially with these other schools. And your job as a coach
Yeah.
is to compete and play. You know what I'm saying? And win championships. And
Mm-hmm.
if Georgia, if I can go to Georgia and make enough money to buy me a brand new Lamborghini, if I have the option to go there, or I can go to Clemson because they got tradition and they've been good in the past, and Dabo Swinney is a good coach. You think at 18, 19 years old I'm gonna go to Clemson? No, I'm gonna go to Georgia or
And I mean,
whoever else is. But the thing, what I'm
a lot of people.
good.
A lot of people have been saying Dabo needs to get with the times. Like, if he wants people to come play for Clemson, he has to get with the times. Like, it's kind of time out for Oh well, I think players need to go by tradition, this, that, and the third, have some loyalty. Loyalty is out of the window now. Like, if you're not offering me the money that I need to provide for myself and my family, we have
But
nothing to talk
you
about
know
here, you
why
know?
it's out the window? The
What's that?
NCAA, from what I've seen, they just said, "Hey, bump it. Do what you want. You want the money? Go. You want to transfer? Go." There's literally
Yeah.
the only stipulation to the transfer portal is you have to wait for a certain window. But oh wait, if you don't transfer in this window, we got one more for you. So
Yeah.
there's no stipulations anywhere. So on that
Mm-hmm.
aspect, I agree. But on the aspect of
Yeah.
them trying to control money, meaning control deals, I think that's a stretch. But
Yeah.
I think now, do I think that um the player should earn it? Like, meaning, like, if you're a superstar, like, for instance, Milton, like Carson Beck, to me, earned it. Brock Bowers earned it. These players earned it. You know what I'm saying? I think that the coach should be like, this player earned it, or whatever they see on TV, this player earned it, whatever, go get it. But I don't think they should be in the numbers talk. So I agree with you there. But on the stipulations part, yes, it definitely
Yeah.
needs to be stipulations. Because then there's what is the goal at that point? Is the goal to go to the
Mm-hmm.
NFL, or I'm just gonna stay in college for 6 years because they paying all this money? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So
For
that, I
sure.
mean, we I know we overtime, but we in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
discussion.
No,
We in
yeah.
this
I'm about to
discussion.
say, yeah,
I
we
knew this part was gonna be.
but this is good though, because it gives people, something to think about, because I want to add one more thing
Go
on
ahead,
as
go
well
ahead, go
before
ahead.
we head out. So Maryland's head coach came out on a podcast or a show that he did, and he basically said he literally was sitting in his office, like literally hands in head, just like he couldn't believe it. Basically, his third string running back came in his office and told him, "I need 100K or I'm getting in the transfer portal." Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. I just want people to think about that. Think about that, and also while you're thinking on it, listen. We're gonna go ahead
No,
and
we not
wrap up,
wrapping
but
up. We ain't wrapping up a gosh darn thing. You ain't finna skate past that like you ain't said. What did I just say? You you are a third string on the team, sir. What how do you have the audacity to say I need 100K or I'ma quit? Who you think you is, Kanye? What come on, bro. Like,
apparently,
ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. What you mean? Like, bruh, you are third string. That means if the starter get hurt, you still a backup to the backup. You come on, bruh. Come come on. No. We gonna end with this.
you
Snip
you
this part
you
out.
have to stop.
No. Snip
You have to
snip
stop.
this part out. This is what we
You
posted.
are out of
This
control
is what
tonight.
we posted. Guys, dog it, and I mean it.
You
By
have
all
to
means, do
stop.
college players need to make their money? I've never said that ever. If you want to pay a player $1 million, pay a player $1 million. Want to pay him 2 million, pay him 2 million.
Yeah.
7 million, pay him 7 million. But if only pay him that is if he's worth it. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
has this player been an essential part of this team? Has this player been a starter? Has this player put up numbers? Has this player made a stop? Has this player made sacks? Has this player made interceptions? Has he caught a touchdown pass? Has he even seen the field? You mean to tell me you are a third string running back? This is no knock to Maryland, but you are a third string running back on Maryland, which is the last few years has not been a contender. Now, think about this. I'm just being honest. They can come for me. That's fine. But Maryland, I have not seen where they said, "Oh, Maryland's running back room is the best in the country, or it's arguably the best in the country." So if you are the third string running back on a subpar running back room, what gives you the right to say I need 100,000 or I'm quitting?
Get a
Now, if you
100K.
come into the room and say, "Look, my family's struggling. I need this, that, and the third," as a coach, from what I'm gonna say, But you better get in the weight room, get on the field. You better beat out the second and first string, cause that's the only way you get 100K. So if
You
you
need
are the third
100K.
string running back on Maryland, you gonna go be the third string somewhere else.
He need 100K,
So
Stackz.
so my
He answered no
this is my
question.
problem with NIL transfer portal. It used to be you wasn't getting the look, you wasn't getting the touches. Okay, before I say that, it's easy for him to say, I'm gonna go to the transfer portal, cause he already ain't playing. But you saying that you want 100,000
in order to stay.
Right. You third string, dog. That means you not far from being fourth string, so that means you in the fourth string really battling it out to be the third replacement. So
if they even have a
they got a fourth
string.
string. He just not labeled probably as a fourth string. I'm just being real. He might play.
I agree.
You know, he might play special teams or something. He might play,
Mm.
something else, or he might, just be on the sideline waiting. But to my point is, in order for you to when you're negotiating money, just business in general, you have to have what they call leverage. Meaning, you got something I want, I got something you want. If his first string came and said, "Look here, you gotta give me this, or I'm transferring," okay. Now I might be a little scared because you superstar running back, a first string, you putting up numbers. We need to figure out how to get this done or whatever. But if you're my third string, and you know what I'm saying, like, come on, bro, like, come on, like, what are we doing here? Like, no, I mean, I'm just being real. Like, what are we doing? What are we really doing here? Like, we don't get me wrong. Like I said it before, I said it again. These players need to make their money, but you got to draw the line somewhere because these players
be reasonable.
Not even just be reasonable. Just go out there. You should be paid.
Have common sense.
Common sense and work ethic, and just being good at what you do. Like the whole, like think about what Carson Beck. He was brought to Georgia. He was the backup, for 2 years. Didn't transfer when he could have. Waited his turn. Last year they fell short. They didn't win a championship. A lot of people thought that they were the best ones to play for it, but didn't win one. But the numbers was good. He didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Although he had, a lot of talent around him, he got the ball to them in the right places, right spaces, right times, whatever. So with that being said, I could go ahead and pay you that. You know what I'm saying? I can give you. I can go ahead and say, bro, go ahead, get this money, get you a Lamborghini. I can get with that. Cause you in the Heisman conversation, throughout the season. I could see that. But if you ain't did nothing, if you can't even turn up on the practice squad,
Stackz is broken. Stackz is unhinged tonight, y'all.
I just can't get with that.
Stackz is unhinged.
They can say, bro, you
God.
just hating, you whatever. No, I'm not hating. Go earn your spot. Be good.
Stackz.
Go get your
Stackz is
money.
on one
Go
tonight.
get your money. See, that's why I ain't a coach. Joe would came and said, "Have you done $100,000 worth of work? Have you earned the right to be $100,000 running back?"
I just know Mike Locksley is over there in Maryland. Like, oh
I
my
just can't
God.
get with that. Like, bro, like, so,
Yeah, no,
like, you know what I'm saying?
I couldn't believe it either. When my friend sent it to me, when I say I almost dropped my phone, I was just like, this thing is it's crazy.
See, and that to me is the point that I think Dabo is trying to accomplish with that, and the South Carolina coach. I think that is what they're trying to say with that. They have no leverage. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the player can come in and make $7 million, and the coach is making $5 million, like, bro, we got the same salary. What can you teach me that I already know? Because I know how I was at 18, 19 years old. I know for me, I'm like, bro, I'm finna listen to you. I'm making millions. I could leave right now and be straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you want, I feel like, if you want college football to still be college football, you have got to put stipulations on the portal and put stipulation on the NIL deal. Like, only way you can get this money is if you put up the numbers.
Facts. I mean, that's fair.
So you telling me that player been injured the entire season, but he's a 5-star, gets signed as a freshman. He gets paid all these millions of dollars, and all he does with that money is party and do all this stuff. But he got $7 million, and he gets hurt first play or in practice, and for that entire year, he don't do nothing. So now you just got $7 million. Yeah. So that's my thing. You put stipulations on and I wrap with this. I stop with after this.
Okay.
You push.
I'm about to say, bro, because you're, bro, you have literally went on a 5-minute rant. I'm letting you go.
I'm very passionate about college football.
I know. Hey, listen,
and this new stuff.
That's why the people appreciate you.
I'm with the times, and I'm realistic.
They appreciate
but at the same time, stupid is stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. But the things that I say that need to be done in the NCAA right now to keep it the NCAA, you got to put stipulations on the transfer portal. Meaning, you can only transfer before the season or after the season. You know what I'm saying? And you can only transfer a certain amount of times. You need to put NIL stipulations on it. If you are not putting up a certain amount of numbers, or you're not getting this or whatever, you can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't explore that, or you can't explore it until your sophomore year, or until you get on the field and actually produce. And then the last thing is NCAA needs to help these colleges out and get health insurance for the players. You know what I'm saying? So if you get health insurance for the players, some of them will not require that much money. You know what I'm saying? Not all of them, because you got the ones that still gonna want that, which is fine. But you should definitely have health insurance for these players if they get hurt. So with that being said,
that's fair.
NCAA, figure out what you're gonna do with this portal, figure out this NIL situation, and get these players health insurance so they can make sure that their bodies are straight for life after football and life, during the NFL and during college. So that is my spiel on that, and you can take it away, my brother.
You sure?
Go ahead. Unless you
sure?
Else to talk about.
Listen. I definitely don't have anything, bro. We're about to hit 118, so no, these people are ready. These people are ready to turn us off at this point. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we told y'all we were coming back, and we thank y'all so much for rocking with us in our little absence. Sometimes you just again, life happens, so we had to just really just reset and kind of take a step back for just a brief second, but we're back. And also we want to try to get back on live. I think me and Stackz have talked about trying to possibly go on live on Wednesdays and just chat with y'all for a minute. And we really want to get to know the people that have been watching the podcast. So yeah, we're definitely going to try to shoot for Wednesday evenings around maybe 6:30 or 7. And just chat for an hour or so and just talk some sports, talk whatever, really. I mean, it ain't necessarily even gotta be about sports. Just chat it up, get to know the people. So, yeah, I think that's all I got. Just thank y'all so much for continuing to rock with us, and yeah, we appreciate it. Stackz.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, man.
Wait! I've been missing this. Stackz, take us home, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all tapping in with us, man. Allow me to go on my rant about this thing, but hey, as you can see, we passionate about college sports. We love the game. We love football, basketball, all of these things. If you got a player that you want us to cover for this upcoming season, or that's playing right now, basketball, or is about to play softball, or whatever sport they do, as long as it's college, or if they high school players about to go to college, or whatever, let us know. Hit us up in the DM or hit me. hit me or hit Javaris in our personal DMs. We'll get it covered. We'll get it talked about. Hey, let us know what y'all want to hear, what y'all want us to expound upon. What's going on with the. We try to keep up with everything that's going on in the college sports world. But hey, if you got a particular topic that we might not have talked about, let us know. We'll go check it out, and let you know our thoughts and our opinions on there. And hey, I'm gonna be, as you can see, I'm gonna be completely honest about my takes and everything like that. And then, hey, I want all the smoke. I want all the smoke. So I want all the smoke.
Unhinged. Oh
I
my.
got facts to back it up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. But hey, we're gonna get out of here, man. That's our time. We got bills to pay. We'll holler at y'all, man. Wake up, I gotta go get it.